Hi there, compassionate and heart-centered leaders. Now, more than ever, it's time to be heard. We need your voice. In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to be a leader that speaks with confidence and clarity. Self-expression is so important to emotional intelligence. Finding your voice, clear and confident, increases your influence and strengthens your brand as a heart-centered and compassionate leader. Introverts, this episode will especially resonate with you. Before we start, let's see if you have already subscribed to my channel. And if you are in the not yet category, maybe today is the day. Click this bell button to get notified when a new episode arrives. I'm Maria Neizvestnaya, founder of Executive Craft, and welcome to my channel, a place for heart-centered leaders. As leadership and executive coach, I'm passionate about emotional intelligence, mindfulness, and transformational leadership training. My clients gain confidence, increase influence, and become fully empowered. Are you ready to elevate your leadership? Have you been in a meeting, attended a conference, or worked within a group and felt reluctant, blank, or missing in action? It was your time to show up and you did not. Remorse and regret set in. You rationalize that only loud and verbose people get a chance at promotion. Perhaps you have developed a narrative about being an introvert, including all the stigma attached to introverted leaders, making it virtually impossible to participate in these types of settings. Whatever it may be, here is the framework to expand your influence and be a prime compassionate leader. First, we need to address the introvert misconception. Many assume that you need to be high on the extroverted scale to be able to position yourself strongly and effectively among your colleagues, team, and management. This paradigm is misunderstood. Introvert-extrovert character traits do not appraise your social skills. In actuality, it speaks to energy management and specifically how one recharges and re-energizes. Ask yourself, when I feel tired, do I prefer alone time or time with others? People higher on the extroversion scale re-energize when they spend time with others. In contrast, people who are higher on the introversion scale re-energize when they spend time on their own. It doesn't mean that leaders who are more introverted are less competent or lack leadership skill. Quite the opposite, they have their unique strengths. They are thoughtful, able to create deeper connections, and more attuned with themselves as they spend a lot of time with themselves and know themselves quite well. Since this is a character trait, this is a part of your pre-installed package, so to say. You can definitely work with it to your advantage as a leader, and you also need to be more intentional about the ways you regain your energy. A lot of times, heart-centered and compassionate leaders are prone to overgiving. As an introvert, you may not be able to balance your energy and emotional needs. You may spread yourself thin trying to be there for others. Speaking up and contributing to the discussion in a group of people requires additional energy and intention. If you are an introvert, step 1 is to be mindful of your energy limits and protect them with the same passion and commitment you apply when tending to someone in need. Here are several tools to use in step 1. First, planning your week and blocking times when you aren't available. Second, planning the time before and after events that include a lot of people and require you to participate. Next, recognizing when it's too much and you feel overwhelmed without overloading. Your strengths include knowing yourself well, so you should be able to know when you are close to feeling like enough is enough. Practice mindfulness to tune into your body, mind, heart, and stay vigilant to your body's signals so you don't crash completely exhausted. Practice breaks throughout the day and design your day so it works for you. For example, if you're conducting interviews during the week, be mindful that it will take a lot of energy, so it might be a good idea not to plan a lot of other meetings that week. Create a plan to regain your energy, maybe during the weekend, finishing the week early, etc. Create a consistent mindfulness practice to train your focus and concentration, which is what high-performing athletes do to have focus and clarity. In other words, optimizing your energy and training your mind to stay alert and focused while facing an endless flow of information is critical for your self-expression skills. When you are emotionally overwhelmed, the part of your brain that is responsible for putting your thoughts into words isn't operating well. Hence, it will be more difficult than usual to express yourself. You may find that you use a lot of words to express your thoughts, lack concentration, and have troubles comprehending what other people are trying to express. Step 2. Train to express your thoughts in less sentences. Have fun with this practice. Turn this into a game. A lot of heart-centered leaders get anxious when they feel that they are not an expert in the field or when they perceive a conversation as a confrontation. Once anxiety kicks in, they start to sound as though they're justifying themselves instead of asserting themselves. This can be getting off topic, losing your train of thought, or at times not forming complete sentences if you're expressing yourself in non-native language, like myself at the moment, and it brings the game to a totally new level of complexity. If this is you, here is the strategy for that. Train yourself to summarize your thoughts in 3 to 4 sentences and boil them down to the simple logic model. For example, identifying the gap, presenting the solution, stating the fact, stating the impact the fact has on you, business, etc., suggesting an alternative solution, and behavior. Different situations require different algorithms, but this type of thinking allows you to get to the core of discussion, and with the time, you will be able to express yourself concisely. You can train in a safe space by listening to the podcasts of different experts on complex subjects and then pause the audio and summarize what they just expressed, but in 3 to 4 sentences max. Think about it like reading a book and creating a summary of several pages in one simple paragraph. Instead of reading and writing, you will be employing your listening and speaking skills. First, you will do it in your mind and it will require intentional effort. After a while, you will notice it takes you less and less time to do that. Stay in the growth mindset and think about it as a skill that needs to be worked on. Finally, a big mistake is keeping quiet because insert your top 3 reasons why you don't speak up. Here are some of the top reported reasons from my clients and from my own mind. I'm not competent in this topic, I don't like to interrupt other people, it takes me a long time to formulate my thoughts, and the topic is no longer being discussed by the time I'm ready to speak. I'm shy, I'm an introvert, it's hard for me to speak up, I'm afraid of looking stupid, I have an accent, and the list goes on and on. No matter what your reasons or narrative behind staying silent, I suggest you to acknowledge your mind for being very creative and coming up with all these reasons. Then move on and do speak up. As we uncovered in the Increasing Your Influence episode, your visibility progresses from getting noticed to being valued to making a meaningful impact. One of the traps that heart-centered leaders get into is thinking that they need something significant to say in order to speak up. You don't need to be an expert in the discussion. This, in fact, is a part of the overgiving thinking where you think you need to contribute something huge and significant. Meanwhile, while you are coming up with that huge and significant ideas, you lose an opportunity to show up and get noticed altogether. There are several ways to contribute to the meeting or conversation, even if you don't yet feel competent, including: number 1, asking questions, including clarifying questions and demonstrating your sincere interest and curiosity in the topic. Train your mind to think about the question as you are listening to the other person presenting. Paraphrasing and summing up what the other person said in 2-3 sentences and making an encouraging comment about that. For example, you are saying that A equals B equals C. Wow, that's really interesting. I've never thought about it this way. See how this doesn't require competence in the subject? If you know that instead of staying present and paying attention to what's happening during the meeting, you are suffering in silence, debating whether or not to speak up, there is a simple tool for that. Just raise your hand. Don't let your mind take you down the rabbit hole of self-doubt. Raising your hand intentionally forces you to speak up and gives your mind the task of thinking about what to say. Then, instead of thinking about whether or not to say something, your mind will have a clear task. Come up with a question or something else to say. You'll be surprised how creative you can become when you don't spend your mind's energy worrying about speaking up. To sum up, manage your energy so you are confident and show up to meetings energized and on top of your game. Train yourself to speak with clarity by summarizing your thoughts into concise, logical sequences that are 3 to 5 sentences max. And finally, show up and contribute to the discussion no matter what your narrative is about your presentation skills. Showing up increases your influence and makes the biggest impact. Your impact is indispensable. Your unique perspective is invaluable. Without a shadow of a doubt, your presence matters. To learn more about the qualities needed to succeed as a heart-centered leader, sign up for my free 1-hour training, How to Succeed as an Overgiver Without Becoming Resentful or Losing the Passion for Your Work. Go to executivecraft.com and join the webinar. If you are in a leadership position and ready for a powerful launch of the new you in 2021, I invite you to connect and book a free one-on-one discovery call with me. Let's talk about you, your dreams and aspirations, and figure out what are the next steps that you can take to get closer to your vision and goals. To apply for the call, click on the link in the description or go to executivecraft.com/apply and choose the time in my schedule that works for you. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like and share it with other heart-centered leaders. And hit this bell button if you haven't subscribed to my channel already. Stay safe, show up, and shine. Talk soon. Bye-bye.